What is man that thou art mindful of him, and the Son of Man that thou visitest him? See, God is the God of all things, and he has things already worked out, and our help is but in a little. Can I get a witness? Oh yes, man can build many wonderful things, but all that man builds on and has to use, he has to use God's pre-existent materials. Can I get a witness? But when God created the heavens and the earth was without shape and void, but God made them out of nothing. For God created everything without the aid of any pre-existent material. In other words, church, God came out of nowhere, stepped on top of nothing, and made something. Can I get a witness? Oh yes, God spoke and there was light in the midst of darkness. It just wasn't called night and day yet until he separated the darkness from the light. God spoke and the land was formed. God spoke and the mountains and rivers and seas came into existence. God spoke and the sun, moon, and stars began to glitter in the heavens. Is that right? God spoke and the animals and fowls began to walk and fly around the world. God spoke and fish began to swim in the sea before there was an upstream or a downstream. Is that right? Oh yes, God made Porio and created Genome, all things that are in the world. And when God looked at the world, he said that everything was good. And then God spoke again and said, let us make man in our own image and likeness. And man stood before him as the masterpiece of creation. And God gave him dominion over all creation. And don't you know that if God put us over all of his creation, that he will watch over and protect us from all hurt, harm, and danger in his creation? Can I get a witness? Don't you know that he will feed us when we're hungry? He'll quench our thirst with everlasting water. He'll heal our sick bodies and mend our broken hearts, our broken spirits. Can I get a witness? No wonder David said, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hill from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord. Yeah, in times of trouble and suffering and sickness, pain and loneliness, we can lift up our eyes in the direction of the hills. Can I get a witness? Because there's help in the strength, in the hill of the Lord. Can I get a witness? Yeah, the writer said, I lifted up my eyes unto the hills from whence cometh my help. See, the attitude of a true Christian is that all of us have to get to the point where we feel we need some help. Can I get a witness? It's not good to go to our friends for help, because when they get through telling us a whole lot of mess and crying and complaining about their problems, we'll end up in worse shape than we were before we went to them. Is that right? Let me tell you why. You see, you can be feeling just as good and mind refreshed, and then you start hearing somebody talking and spreading rumors about this and complaining about that, and by the time you get through listening, you start to feel worse than you did before you listened to them. Can I get a witness? It's because some folk, I don't care how they are, just don't want you to feel good. They want you to feel miserable. They just like they are. Can I get a witness? They want you to be depressed all the time. Is that right? Because sometimes you don't get the help you need when you listen to a lot of folk. But we all need some help. Can I get a witness? And I stop by here to tell you that God can help you. Is that right? Listen to what David is saying. My help comes from the Lord. What about the Lord? The Lord who made the heaven and the earth. And since the Lord made heaven and earth, certainly he can take care of our little problems. Is that right? God will fix problems for you. And church, if he doesn't fix your problems, he'll fix it so you can make it with your problem. Can you get a witness? Oh yeah, no wonder David said, my help comes from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. Then he said, he will not suffer thy foot to be moved. What does this mean? It means that in my process of climbing up the hills, it gets difficult trying to climb up an uphill journey. But the Lord is saying that he's so close to us that our feet will not be moved and we will not slip down the hill when we're climbing up the hill. Can I get a witness? All of us in here have some hills to climb in your life, and that climb. Can I get a witness? And just looking at the hill made you say to yourself that you just can't make it. Is that right? But when you can look back now, you will see that you already made it over the hills in your life. Can I get a witness? Or you ought to look over and tell somebody, I don't know about you, but I'm a mountain climber. I'm a mountain climber. But instead of giving God the Lord credit, some of us give ourselves credit. But I'm here to tell you, if you need help, don't look to things, but you got to look to the Lord. Can I get a witness? And then it says, he that keepeth thee will not slumber. And behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. And I want you to know that it's a joy to know that we're serving a God who does not go to sleep. You see, everyone, no matter who you are, has to sleep sometimes. Can I get a witness? Nurses on duty have to leave their stations and go somewhere and sleep. Is that right? Doctors have to leave their patients and lay down and go to sleep. Is that right? Mothers have to lay down their children and then find themselves somewhere to lay down and sleep. Is that right? Yeah, I came in late last night driving and got to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning, but I had to have some sleep. Is that right? Workers and bosses must come off their jobs and lay down and go to sleep. The pilot must land his plane and go somewhere and sleep. Is that right? Police officers must leave their beats and lay down and go to sleep. And thieves and robbers must find some time to go to sleep. Is that right? Our Homeland Security staff has to have shifts to be able to lay down and go to sleep. Can I get a witness? The saved and the unsaved must go to sleep. Is that right? Everything and everybody you know must go to sleep. But I thank God, the Bible says that he neither slumbers nor sleeps. In other words, God never slumbers. That is, he never dozes off. And he never sleeps silent that he can't hear what's going on around him. Can I get a witness? Then church, he never sleeps. That is, he never goes into a sleep mode. Is that right? He never closes his eyes. And have you ever thought for 1 minute, if God would blink, if it would blink, this world would be in a chaotic state. Is that right? But I'm so glad that we serve a God that doesn't close his eyes. He doesn't go to sleep. Is that right? In other words, church, God's eyes never gets weak of looking at us. Is that right? That's why our songwriter wrote, why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart be lonely and long for my heaven and home? Well, I'm going to preach this thing. When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is he. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know he watches me. Is that right? And I heard Matthew say, take no thought of what you shall eat, or what you should drink, or what you should put on, because God takes care of the little birds. Is that right? And are we no better than the little birds? Don't you know that if a little bird can survive without ever going hungry, then surely the God that I serve thinks enough of me to supply my every need. Can I get a witness here? For he will not suffer, nor will he sleep. For the God I serve shall keep thee. Is that right? Well, how can the Lord keep us? Well, God can keep us because of the power he has. Is that right? In other words, God will keep your mind. God will keep your heart. God will keep your tongue. And God will surely keep your walk. Won't he do it? He'll keep your steps. Is that right? He orders your steps. And he'll keep you. For he is a keeper. Is that right?